All right, that's our third co-host on the show. That's Josh Cribbs, and he'll be back with us in about a half hour. Plenty of folks to talk to. Kenny Roda's next. He's on deck, so we'll be talking to him in just a few moments. Some interesting things, though, coming from Josh. Again, if you want to get involved in the show, 216-431-3820. 216-431-3820. And again, our best Skype of the day is going to win this football. Sam Martigliano's on here, Roger Shinway's on here, and Tayshaun Gibson is also on here, too. So we're looking for our best Skype of the day, who's not a regular because, oh, look at this. Kenny Roda has his other hat on today. He's not wearing his Ohio State hat because of the blowout from the other night.
58-point favorites.
Yeah.
Come on.
So let's go. Oh, Kenny. Kenny, is it raining in your house or what?
It looks a little foggy in there this morning.
It's a little foggy. Did I not clean my camera today? I apologize. I'll have to get the Windex out and get it ready and better for the next hit. My bad, guys.
Just take your thumb and just rub it on the camera. We'll see what happens there. Might clean it up just a little bit.
See what we do here.
Give it
a Kleenex or something.
It's all live. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's way better.
Wow.
There you go.
You look tremendous now.
Now we can see Bill Murray.
Actually, it was better the other way, I think.
You know what's
weird? You guys with your woof and your big cease. I like that.
Yeah, baby.
You guys fresh good move today.
Hooking us up. There it is. Life is good. Your thoughts on yesterday's game, my man?
You know what? It was an exciting game. It was a dramatic game. It had a little bit of everything. They threw the kitchen sink, the microwave, the dishwasher, everything they had at the Minnesota Vikings. And in the end, they came out a winner. In years past, guys, we'd see games like that where they're up at halftime, 24-17, with the fake field goal on the punt, and they'd find a way to lose that game. And somehow, some way yesterday, they found a way to win it. A storybook ending with the hometown kid, Brian Hoyer, leading the team down that final game-winning drive, hooking up with Jordan Cameron for the touchdown. Chud getting his first win, another guy that loved the Browns growing up. So it just had a good feel about it all the way around, especially after what happened earlier in the week with all the turmoil and the distractions and the negativity with Hoyer leapfrogging Jason Campbell from 3-1, and then you had the trade of Trent Richardson. So a crazy week, a tip of the cap, if you will, to Chud for getting the guys ready to play and then going out, executing, pulling out all the stops and getting a win.
Kenny, one of the things we were talking about here, one of our topics is the trick plays. What does the trick plays say to you? Is it a desperate team that was willing to do anything to pull out a win on the road? Was it just things that we're seeing more creativity with the Chud-Norv Turner connection? What did you take away from especially those two key trick plays and when they were run at the times they were run, field position, game, everything?
Right, yeah. Desperation, I think, was a part of it yesterday because of the distractions from earlier in the week. I think the Browns were going to do whatever they had to do yesterday to show that they were going to fight, scratch, claw, do whatever it takes to win games this year, and that the season, has not been flushed down the toilet after the Trent Richardson trade. So we've seen the Browns do some things like that at the end of seasons out of desperation. Remember when Dennis Northcutt lined up as the quarterback with Chris Palmer? They were trying everything and anything, back in that season. I believe it was 99. So I think some desperation, yes, played a part in that yesterday, and it worked. It caught the Vikings napping not once, but twice. I mean, to complete those two plays, a fake field goal and a fake punt, and get, 37 yards on the punt and a touchdown on the fake field goal, boy, that's some great coaching or just some desperation that was, used yesterday.
Here's my question. I wonder if Chud knew, and I can't wait till today's press conference, if he knew that Billy Cundiff had the groin injury before they pulled off the fake field goal. That's my big question.
That's a great question. It really is, because I heard Brian Hoyer say at the end of the game there, he went in the huddle and he said, guys, our kicker's hurt. Let's score a touchdown here and let's not let it get to overtime. So I think they were more aggressive. It would have been interesting there had they not completed the pass to Jordan Cameron. Would they have brought Spencer Lanning out to attempt the field goal to tie it, or would they have gone for it? Another question I think that should be asked today at the press conference.
I also think Spencer Lanning is you never want to talk about a punter being a hero, but he was a hero yesterday. Not only did he kick the extra point that turned out to be the difference between 3 and 4 points, but he also, he put the team in great position. His punting was great, and he was able to throw a touchdown pass. He was able to score the extra
46-yard
point.
net. I mean,
I don't know how much more you can ask for out of a punter.
I wouldn't be surprised, and I didn't look at all the other box scores, but I wouldn't be surprised if he is named your special teams player of the week for his accomplishments in yesterday's game, because you're right, guys. He was indeed one of the heroes of yesterday's 31-27 win over the Minnesota Vikings. So I don't know if we'll see that out of him every game. I highly doubt that, but other teams now have to be aware of it.
Kenny, based on Hoyer's performance yesterday, and you heard us ask Josh, Whedon comes back. He's 100% healthy. They're back home against the Bengals. It's a big interdivision game. Do you ride the hot hand, or does a guy lose his job based on an injury?
Well, I think if you go back to the first two games and you see how much that Brandon Whedon was struggling, I think you have to ride the hot hand if you're Chud, and maybe Chud won't have the final say on this because, as we all know, Brian Hoyer is a Mike Lombardi guy. And what did Bill Belichick do when he had the hot hand with Tom Brady? He rode the hot hand, and we know how much of an influence Belichick has on Lombardi. We'll find out how much of an influence Lombardi has on Chud's decisions. But I think you go with Brian Hoyer. I was looking at his numbers, guys. Brian Hoyer in the second half, he really wasn't that good until that final drive. Let's be honest. He had 173 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, and only 1 pick in the first half. He only threw for 148 yards in the second half and had those 2 interceptions. And a lot of those yards came on that final drive when they went 55 yards starting at 3:21 left in the fourth quarter to get the victory there. So 3 touchdowns, 3 picks, but they got the win, and that's more important. And I'll be surprised if they don't ride the hot hand and stick with Brian Hoyer in this week's game against the Cincinnati Bengals.
All right, Kenny, thank you very much. We're going to come back to you at 7:45. So we'll come back
Sounds
to you
good,
at
guys.
7:45. Also, Kenny, I want to let people know you'll be joining me here on this set Saturday for our Ohio State pregame show against Wisconsin, and then you'll join us on the postgame show as well. So I'm excited about that, too. OH.
There you go,
bro. Thank you, Kenny. Talk to you soon here. 216-431-3820 or on Skype, Dogs on the Run. Also, hashtag Dogs on the Run if you're following along on Twitter as well. So, so many great things to talk about from yesterday's Browns win, and it's exciting to talk about a win.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is. We sit here, think about how many 0-3 starts they've had over the last 5 or 6 years. And I think that over the last 7 years, I think they've started the season 1-2 just once, and that was 11. So, I mean, there's a lot to think about this morning. It makes you kind of wonder about the Trent Richardson deal
a little bit
last week. And, you know, maybe you just need to have a little bit of faith and trust inside this Browns front office. It's a hard pill to swallow last week, I got to tell you, because you're giving up for the future next week. But they proved yesterday that they were able to go out and win, and they played as a team, and it takes 22 guys. It's not just one.
Yeah, and this is clearly a team that wants to throw the football, Andy. There's no doubt about it, even with the running back situation. They ran the ball 17 times, threw the ball 54 times. And you can do the math of the percentages of that. So nothing has changed. It doesn't matter who the quarterback is. This team, from the start, they told us even all the way back to training camp, they want to be a vertical type of team. They want to throw the ball downfield, push the ball downfield, press the defense, make the opposing defense make plays, and that's exactly what they continue to do. Brandon Whedon was the same thing when they had him. He threw the ball over 50 times, and in each of the first 2 games they come back with Brian Hoyer, and he does this as well. But also one of the keys yesterday, not lost in the whole thing, is the defense. It's the 3rd straight game that they've held running backs under 100 yards, but does this really legitimize the defense when you hold Adrian Peterson under 100 yards? He is the reigning MVP in the National Football League, despite the tweet that he sent out this morning. I don't know if you followed it, but he sent out a tweet this morning that he said when he got home from the game last night, his daughter said to him, "I can't believe you guys lost to the Browns." Well, believe it. It's the National Football League on any given Sunday as it goes. But how much does that legitimize the defense in your mind with what happened yesterday? It's the 3rd straight game, but it's Adrian Peterson on his own turf. They held him to 88 yards, and obviously it was one of the keys to the win.
Well, I think there's a couple things to think about here. First of all, you know, I said this all last week. If they can hold him to under 100 yards, they've completely legitimized the run, because most people had said going into the season, the Browns can't stop the run. By the way, Miami's 3-0 right now.
Yes, they are.
And so look what they did to them, stopping the run against the Miami Dolphins. So you had that, and the run defense has been outstanding. I mean, outstanding in the
has.
first 3 games. And to put your mark down against Adrian Peterson yesterday, I think is just probably one of the biggest confidence builders. I think this front 7 that they've done a marvelous job putting together. If you want to call us, 216-431-3820, or hit us at DAWGS on the Run on Skype. You can also tweet at us at Andy_Baskin. We're going to go back to Skype right now. We're going to go, where are we going? We're heading all the way to Minnesota.
Yeah.
Wow, how about this? This is Joel Ingersoll from Twin Cities Browns Backers president. Joel, you have got to be feeling great today.
Yeah, I feel absolutely fantastic other than the fact that it's, 6:20 in the morning, but the coffee does taste like a win, so that's pretty cool.
Hey, tell us a little about the atmosphere yesterday. How many people did you have? Where were your festivities held? And give us a little kind of background to yesterday's game.
Hang on. Sorry, guys. There we go. Is that a little better?
That's all
Yesterday was fantastic. It really started off well on Saturday night. We had a backer gathering at our local bar, Mackenzie's, where, Hanford Dixon came in. We had somewhere between, 150 and 200 people come in.
Wow.
We started the party Saturday night, and then, of course, it continued over to yesterday, and we may have gotten revenge for Tommy Kramer and Ahmad Rashad, so everything was pretty exciting, and I think people who came to town had a great time, as well as our folks who are local.
Boy, Joel, that's all I could think about was Ahmad Rashad on that play at the end, the tip ball, which, by the way, the Browns made the playoffs. The next week, I think they beat Cincinnati that next week after that. But I remember how crushed I was as a kid the day that Ahmad Rashad caught that tip ball in the end zone. And yesterday I was just – the hard part about yesterday is, for you know this better than anybody else, the Browns haven't won there since 1986. That's the beauty of the win
that's
yesterday.
true. I moved here 7 years ago, so I haven't really experienced losing in Minnesota to the Vikings before. I was always at home back in Vermilion or in Cleveland somewhere watching the game. So I know there were a lot of folks, especially on our Facebook page, talking about losing huge to the Vikings a few years back. So it was nice to get that win for them.
What's been the pulse of Minnesota losing? I don't know if you heard me say, Adrian Peterson tweeted out today, his daughter said to him, "I can't believe you lost to the Browns," when he got home from the game. And I know it's early there for you, but what was the pulse of the Twin Cities like last night after the loss?
So it was funny. A lot of people throughout the game were, "I can't believe we're losing to the Browns. I can't believe we're losing to the Browns. How bad are we to be losing to the Browns?" And the fact of the matter is that we've got a really good defense. What are we, 5th, 6th, 7th in the league, right around there. We shut down Peterson, and everybody knows Ponder can't pass. I don't know. They should probably start handing the ball off to him because he ran quite nicely yesterday. But I think Vikings fans were pretty shocked that they lost. And then they were pretty upset about Ponder. We heard a lot of calls for Castle, which, of course, sounds like a pretty naughty word when you repeat it over and over and over again throughout the game. So, yeah, I think Vikings fans are just pretty distraught at this point, and I don't suspect they're going to fill the stadium much the rest of the year.
All right, Joel, thank you so much. We know you woke up early today in the Twin Cities. Congratulations. I know you got a ton to celebrate today, so thank you so much.
Absolutely, guys. You have a fantastic day.
Thank you. All right, so he is the president of the Twin Cities Browns Backers Club. That's Joel Ingersoll. So thank you, Joel.